And a good Thursday afternoon, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Okay, looking at the 300 millibar flow, and this is the upper level low that's centered quite a ways to the north and west of Vermont. It is packing some very, very cold air. And looking at the storm prediction 500 millibar analysis, you can see this is a very deep system. So we're going to go down now to 700 millibars. It should show me moisture at 10,000 feet approximately. You can see greater than 70% relative humidities. And then at 850 millibars, again, a little higher than the top of Mount Mansfield, that kind of slice of the atmosphere. Very cold temperatures represented here, colder than 0 degree isotherm here, and you're looking at very cold temperatures up in this general area at 925, about 2,500 feet or so. You're looking at warmer temperatures here, but again, that cold package of air. That's what's going to be moving into our neck of the woods here over this coming weekend, and namely on Saturday, and this is going to be the main focus. So what you can see here is this upper level low. The surface low is a little further. The high pressure system is pushing in, and this is all cold enough, of course, for snow. Looking at temperatures, which are this time of the year always the case. We have this one weather system, by the way, that's kind of pushing on through. There was some indication it might even produce an isolated lightning strike up toward the Montreal area, but so far so good. Haven't seen anything like that. It still could happen this afternoon, but there could be a couple little sprinkly rain showers. It's mostly virga. It's very dry in the lower levels of the atmosphere right now, so consequently this upper level system is going to be dropping in with its cold pull aloft. That's going to get down to the surface, and we're looking at a snowfall that's going to take place Friday night into Saturday. And even a little bit of wet snow is going to fall in some of our local higher terrain, even as early as, yes, tonight. European model with the east coast, eastern half of the country. So looking at a little bit to the west of us, we can see a little bit of precipitation here. This is valid about 5 o'clock this evening, or through 5 o'clock. That's through between 5 and 8. And you can see it's just starting to get into our neck of the woods here in the northern parts of Vermont. That overspreads the region, mixes with a little bit of wet snow, not a big deal, a little bit more enhanced in the White Mountains, higher elevations there. And then that whips on out, and this is basically about 5 in the morning. So things start to dry up. We get into a slightly drier slot before mid to late morning. We'll start to see the development of some widely scattered showers mixed with a little bit of wet snow. But this is our main character right here. This area of low pressure is going to be tracking off the coast and then kind of sliding very close to the southern New England coastline. And as it does, it'll be cold enough, of course, to snow because we're into this upper level system, and that's bringing in colder air aloft and upward vertical motion, which is also helping to make things colder aloft. And so we can start to see the wet snow. There's the surface area of low pressure. It's going to track on through. Okay, this is valid about 2 o'clock in the morning, early Friday morning. So just to back that up, it looks like the leading edge of the precipitation doesn't get here until sometime until after 8 p.m., between 8 and 11. Overspreads lightly, picks up a little bit more moderately, and it's really going to be the sort of southeastern two-thirds of Vermont as it looks right now, as this area of low pressure tracks as a coastal nor'easter. Here we are in May, and it is, yes, cold enough to snow thanks to this puppy and this very cold pull aloft that's going to be drug sort of behind it. It is going to set records, and maybe not locally here, but certainly to the south of us where the skies are going to be clearing and you get that strong radiational cooling under clear skies at night. Needless to say, we're looking at scattered snow showers continuing into the areas of New England underneath this cold pull with a kind of unstable air. Under these kind of conditions, you might even see a couple lightning strikes mixed in with the snowfall. Could be a thunder snow here or there. That would happen basically Saturday afternoon. But begin to taper off and the system pulls away. The other thing to note here is we got some pretty good strong, relatively strong northwesterly winds once the cyclone gets up and toward the Canadian Maritimes as it intensifies, bumping up against an area of higher pressure. You get some pretty good little bursts of winds, and so consequently we're looking at wind gusts somewhere in that 35 to 45 mile an hour range, especially interacting with the southern Green Mountains and some little bit of downsloping. Not a big deal, but right on the edge as usual. And then things start to improve thereafter. So a little bit of a closer look here, and what you can see is a little bit of precipitation that is falling in the form of snow. these amounts here. So this is accumulated snow via the Kuchera method, which uses temperature. So if it's really cold, it'll elevate that snowfall. If it's very wet, it'll be pretty much close to 10 to 1 snow to water ratios. So this is our snowfall here by 2 o'clock in the morning, early Saturday morning, and this continues to fall in the morning hours. But note, it's kind of that southeastern 2/3 of Vermont. Champlain Valley is spared, and as it looks right now, maybe even some parts of the northern Green Mountains, although as we get into the day on Saturday, that kind of back builds because we'll have a little bit of an upslope component with that strong northwesterly flow on the backside of that area of departing low pressure, and you can see it continues to snow just a little bit. This is the earlier model from this morning, and again, we're using this right now, but you see this is greater than 6-inch amounts along the spine of the Green Mountains. As it looks now, it's relatively elevated. This is a close call, but this is also so cold aloft that this will behave a little bit more like a late February or March snowfall. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.